Everyone has something to share, in either wisdom, story, or logic. And it's clearly amazing to hear all the different missing links discovered by people, unique to their own journeys, and in how they have come to discover them. Together, we can help to build a bigger picture for a better future, for a brighter tomorrow. Let's stand united. Let's remove the veils, and let's create a new world together. Are you that missing link? Join Jesse Hale on the Missing Link Talk Show as he helps to unveil the mystery through the unique wisdom and store of others.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome, everybody here back to the Missing Link. Today we are interviewing a light worker, oracle, visionary, twin flame, mother, and rainbow of indigo children. She teaches people to heal and consciously create a new version of yourself. How are you doing today, Misty Ivey?
Amazing, thank you.
So why don't you start off with telling us about yourself, telling us about your journey, telling a little bit about your background, education, maybe what part of the world you grew up in, what part of the world you're in now, anything that you want the audience to know, especially if they may be hearing you here for the first time.
Okay, perfect. Well, I was born in North Carolina, and then I traveled to Detroit where I was raised. I actually went through many traumas. In 2010, my whole family died in one summer. 2 suicides, 3 natural deaths. It was my aunt. She shot herself in the head. My uncle shot himself in the head. It had to do with addictions. Then my grandfather and my grandmother both died. They just, old age. Heart failure. And then, I thought it was all over with. And 2012, I got a call. My dad was dying of terminal cancer. So I had to fly back to North Carolina and take care of him. It was very traumatic, but, nobody else could do it, I felt. So, I was a leader. I stood up and I took care of that. It was a lot. It was a lot. I started taking pills to cope. I didn't understand. It was just so traumatic. Anyway, that passed. But I had got pregnant. I had a little girl. Her name is Scarlet Eve. She was actually born with teeth, 2 little teeth. It was very interesting because I was in a domestic violence relationship, and the person I was with punched out 2 teeth in my mouth, and then I had a baby born with 2 teeth. It was very special. I started really awakening in 2017, where things started to get interesting to me, very much so. I was starting to have visions, and I had got off all of the pills. I was sober. Maybe that's why it triggered me to start having such visions. I had a very big vision where I looked up in the sky, and in the clouds were shaped in perfect precision of a curly-haired baby and a 3-headed dragon trying to attack this curly-haired baby, and 7 angels blowing trumpets. I said, okay, I need to take a picture of this. And I said, no, I don't. I'm never going to forget this. So I didn't really understand what that was. It was beautiful. It was from God. But until you asked me to come on the show, many things started happening to me. All the puzzle pieces started going together in that instance about the vision. So pretty much, Jesse, I'm here to reprogram the world for the children, by spreading light, heightening the vibration of love on the planet, because this world has been programmed so bad. It's really, really bad. The movies, the Disney movies, it's just really bad. It's very bad programming, very, very evil people behind all of it. And so I want the children, because that's all it's about, is the children. I want them to have a better world. So I work consistently on creating love on this planet. I post things. I share knowledge. Let's see what else. many things, many things have went on. But now, after all of that happened in 2020, I had another little girl, Hazel, and I started creating more. I started creating on Facebook platform, and I created a group called The Question. I have about 2,000 members in there now, and I help people with questions. I'm an oracle and a visionary. So I have angel oracle cards, and I memorize the books and I memorize the spreads. And when somebody comes to me for help, I lay down the cards and I can see exactly what's going on. With the trauma that I endured, it helped me, be able to connect with other people and resonate. So people come to me, I read them. They don't even have to pay. I work on donation. I do have set rates, but I just read people when they need help. And it has really been making a difference in my world. So I've made about 6 other groups. I've made the Mystic Moon, where I tell the moon phases every day. I keep everyone up to speed on the energy of the astrological alignments. My mother, it's easier for me. My mother was a master astrologist. So I was programmed my whole life to know astrology. So this all came very easy to me, sharing knowledge about the planets and the universe. Also, what else do I do? I have a group called Health is Wealth, where I share different yoga, meditation, anything that will better your life. I have another one that's called Mystic Mountain Meditation, where I help people learn how to meditate. I show them frequencies. What else do I have? I have Jupiter return readings, and that's another one where I just post 1 card a day. It just gives guidance, and then I share other people's readings, and it helps people. It just helps people resonate. It's just lifting the vibration of love on the planet. Sharing is caring. I don't know. Let's see what else. I went through a really hard trauma after my family died. I had just started acting and modeling, and I was cleaning this man's house, and he said, "Oh, I have this really good dentist if you ever need any dentist work." And I feel that the old man wanted to show me off. Well, I went to the dentist office, and I said, "The only problem I have is a little bit of sensitivity on my 2 front teeth." He said, "Okay, no problem." He put some enamel, liquid enamel. Well, it didn't work. So I had went back to this dentist, and he said, "Well, I can help you. I can make you look phenomenal since you're, acting and modeling and you're pursuing that." I said, "Okay." Well, he decided that he was going to remove the 2 nerves from my 2 front teeth. And I was not aware of that. So I left his dentist office, and he was going through a divorce. And he had stuffed the holes with cotton swabs. In return, infection set in the whole bone marrow of my face, and my whole mouth had to be ripped out, every single tooth. So there's so much trauma that I've had to endure, but I've overcome it. And I've overcome it with meditation and frequencies and changing my mind, changing my thought process, because obviously our thoughts create our reality. And so pretty much that's my purpose here. I'm trying to change the thoughts of the children as well. Positive, beautiful, loving thoughts for this world.
So
I'm not going to stop. I love it.
What got you into the meditation? What got you into the spiritual work? What got you into being a light worker? When did you first kind of, realize that that's what you wanted to do and be a part of?
Well, I was 16 years old, and I moved in with my Aunt Kathy, and that was the one that shot herself in the head. Addictions and fibromyalgia, and she just couldn't take it anymore. So she whipped out a deck of Doreen Virtue angel cards, and she said, "Play with those." I said, "Okay." Well, I did, and I loved them. I just loved them. So I was passed down this deck of cards, and when everyone died, I stopped it all. I said, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to see the other side. I don't want anything to do with it. And then I had a person come back from my high school, from my past, and he's like, Misty, you taught me meditation. You know, you taught me all this stuff. Why don't you do it anymore? I said, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see my family. It's almost a little scary. You know, they all die. They all just died. I don't want to see that right now. So I ended up going to a spiritual store and I bought a new deck. And it was on from there. I didn't stop. And that was 2017, where I had the epiphany. I had the vision. It was pretty amazing. Very amazing. Very amazing. Sorry, I'm outside in nature. It's a little cold out here.
It's okay. So some people believe that, you know, the cards can hold negative vibrations or it can be, you know, used in a negative way. Have you ever felt any, you know, dark entities trying to come over you or your cards?
Well, I've dealt with a lot of people that feel that way. But they feel that way about tarot. I only stick with oracle. I do know tarot. I just choose not to use it like that. It's a little negative. So I really basically only use oracle. But no, I've never felt anything demonic. I've never felt anything evil. I'm one with God. I stay with God. And that's key. You know, it's not a religion. You know, it's nothing about religion at all. My grandfather was a minister of a Christian church while I was growing up. My dad didn't want no part in it, and I found that strange. Well, later on down the road, I found out my grandfather was a pedophile, and he had touched family members. He didn't touch me. I'd remember, you know. It just didn't happen to me. Maybe it's because I was my dad's daughter. I'm not sure, but you know, it made me dive deep into the whole religion. It's all a lie. It's all a programming. Each and every individual one. It's a lie. It's just a control. And that's what people need to understand. And they probably don't want to hear me say that, but it's the truth. And we really, you know, church is within yourself. You don't have to go to a church and be judged by the minister and tell you have to do this and that when they're not perfect, you know. I don't know how to really explain it. That's one of the big ones. The big one. That's one of the big things that I can't stand. I don't like labels. But there's so many people out there that are stuck on the label of each religion. You know, I love Buddha. I love all of them. I resonate with all of them. Do I choose one to be my label? I do not. I just choose God and the universe and the angels.
Taffy's asking if you believe in the Holy Spirit.
I do. Before I read anyone, I say, Lord, bless this deck. So I cut it 3 times, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And that's how I get my answer. That's how I get the perfect cards, is by God, by the Holy Spirit.
So you mentioned you were teaching people high school or meditation in high school. So when did you learn meditation and how did that come into your life?
Sylvia Brown. I had found one of her books. I had found one of her guided meditation tapes, and I was going through a hard time. I had just broke up with a boyfriend, and I really liked him, and it really got me. You know, he just didn't want nothing to do with me. I was like, wow. So I didn't know what to do, and I started smoking, actually, cigarettes, and that was a bad thing to do. But I also started meditating with these tapes. It was a tape. Put it in my my tape player before I went to bed, and I would meditate, and it changed my life. Like I felt the power. So I kept telling everyone that I was around it. I would say, listen, you have to try this. So I would carry a little tape player around with me, put the tape in, and I would just lay in bed with them, with whoever I was talking to, or sit in a chair, and I would play the meditation, and they would go up to my grandparents' house and knock on the doors. Misty here, is Misty here? She taught me God. It was beautiful. It was.
Right on. And so you continue on with meditation now. You're helping people teach people with meditation. You think that's important for people to practice?
I do. Well, this is why. You know, I had so much trauma. I didn't know what to do. And so I started listening to a certain frequency, alpha waves in particular. And it literally healed me. It literally healed me while I was still enduring trauma. And this is recently, this is within the last year. But and consistently, every day, every night, these frequencies, especially alpha waves, it healed me. It healed my brain from the trauma. So I recommend it to everyone. Some people say they can't meditate. Well, just listen. Just listen to the frequency and the music. You don't have to go deep into meditation for it to work. Don't get me wrong, that's helpful, but yeah,
Well, they say
it saved my life.
They say people should be meditating like an hour a day, and or no, at least 20 minutes a day. So they say if
I
you
concur.
can meditate at least 20 minutes a day is kind of good practice. And there's people out there that are, well, I don't have time to meditate for 20 minutes, and those people should be meditating for an hour. The ones that don't have a time, because it's really important.
In the day as well, my daily routine, I just have frequencies in the background, whatever I want to focus on. If I want to focus on one of my chakras, if I want to cleanse my aura, there's endless opportunities with meditation. You can do anything. Oh, lately, in the last month, I'm healing my wrinkles. There is a frequency for wrinkles. I mean, I don't really have wrinkles, but I like it. I love it. It's amazing.
So how do you suggest people find certain frequencies that may be good for them?
Well, if there's something in your life, go to YouTube and just search whatever is going on and have the frequency as the last word. Say depression frequency, headache frequency, stomach ache frequency, anything you can think of, they have a frequency for. It's really has a lot to do with imagination as well. People really need to use their imagination.
Now, for people that are trying to meditate and they seem to not be able to, let go of thoughts keep coming in there, they can't clear their mind. Do you have any tips that you could tell people on?
I grow lavender. I love lavender, and it really helps me get into the mood, and just essences of flowers in general. It just really helps. I mean, I would recommend that. You can do shower meditations. If you can't meditate, why don't you go into the shower first, visualize yourself, in a peaceful state. And then when you get out, you should be relaxed enough to meditate. I would say that would be helpful as well.
Now, if someone's just starting to meditate, do you suggest they meditate every day, once a week,
every day.
whenever it calls them?
Every day, you'll see results. Even if it's for 5 minutes, as long as your brain is hearing and you're thinking that you want to better yourself as well. All has to do with your thoughts.
And then what do you do to get yourself into a meditative state? You said you use the lavender. Do you, have a certain area that you usually go to, or is it different all the time?
I mean, it's so easy for me to meditate. I've been doing it for so long. I love it. It's a part of my life. But nature is the key. The birds, the outside, the smell, the grass, everything is growing in nature. You need to focus is nature. Go outside, stay outside. It's beneficial. That's key. Oh, I forgot what I was going to tell you.
Kathy is saying here, you ground outside in your bare feet and you hum to yourself. That's meditation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is one form of meditation. Beautiful. Thank you.
Do you do any meditations yourself where you guide people through, like a guided meditation?
Past regression. Some people come to me and they want to know their past lives. So if they can be on the phone and they can just close their eyes and listen to my voice, I start counting back down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, all the way to 1. And then I ask them a question, and it brings up a thought from their past. And then we go back down, we do another counting. And then I just start asking them questions. I mean, really, if whatever you think, whatever you like and you resonate with, like it started out with me. I kept thinking about Cleopatra and Isis. I said, why I just love these people. I didn't really like that Cleopatra was a murderer, but that was one of the biggest starts of my awakening. I was like, wow, I just love this Egypt. And then I had a man come to me and he said, you don't even know who you are. I said, excuse me? He said, you're Hathor, Egyptian goddess of love and the central sun. So as years passed, it really made sense. Like I resonated 100% with this Hathor from Egypt. So it's pretty beautiful. I do also recommend, knowing thyself is the first really main thing you should do is know thyself. Your name means, every letter in your name means something. Your name means something. So I would definitely advise people to go find out what their name means. And it's just like the astrological chart. I help people find their chart and the basic output of it. And I tell them their moon and their rising and their sun. And then they can look that up or go to YouTube and it will tell them characteristics about their self. And then maybe it helps them remember, maybe it helps them believe, but it helps.
Taffy was asking if you believe in the Anunnaki, and then she's also asking here, do you know how to read people's names to tell them what they mean?
I have a friend. We have a sister. She does, and she does it for a living. I would send you to her, but I mean, yes, I could do it. It's online. It has everything on Google. You type in, what does the letter M stand for? You write it down, each letter of your name, and just look at that, and that'll tell you, a basic portion of who you are. The Anunnaki, yes, I resonate. I do. I guess I haven't obtained enough knowledge on the Anunnaki to say if I believe. I mean, if you can think it, it's real. So yes, I believe in the Anunnaki. Yes, I resonate with it. I'm just not as knowledgeable on that label as I would like to answer that question.
Michelle is asking here, have you had anyone that may have carried a problem from a past life into this one?
Absolutely. Like what? Okay, say that one more time.
Have you had anyone that may have carried a problem from a past life into this one?
Like genetically?
Yeah, so some people believe that, like if in previous lives, if there's some kind of issue or trauma or some kind of healing that needs to be done, that it's generational, that it can be passed down. And so there's there may be things that you need to heal, but it has nothing to do with your trauma. It could have been your great grandma, and that trauma's just been passed down. So she's just wondering if you've come across something like that.
Yep, and I do. I had a very, very severe one. I keep breaking cycles of domestic violence, verbal, physical. I've broke them all in the last 6 years. So I will be writing my story. I'll be writing a book. My father also wrote 3 books before he died. Angels Come in Colors, Images from Her Mind, Volume 1 and 2. I have not got to read those yet. But obviously it's in my blood to write a book, so I'm going to be writing a book. But yes, the generational curses are real. I mean, you can choose to say curse. It's generational, though, for sure. But if you keep a positive mind and you keep working on yourself and you meditate and you change your thoughts and you heal your trauma, it's gone. I am very one now. I am very whole now from meditation and working on myself and self-love, unconditional love for all things. I did it.
So did you say your dad was an author of 3 books?
He is. He actually wrote them right before he passed away. I
Like
just
published?
published. Yeah, they're on Amazon. Yep. So I am waiting. I'm actually still waiting to get his property. He has a house. He had just bought a brand new house over here off the ocean in Jacksonville. I have 2 squatters in my house, but they're my family. It's my father's brother and his daughter. So I'm waiting on a little bit of money, and I've already got the paperwork started. I'm executor of the estate now, but it's a lot of work, and I have 2 small children. So I'm just waiting for all my ducks to be in a row to go there and obtain my property again. And I plan on making a spiritual retreat there, actually. I'm pretty excited about it.
That's great. So you said that these books, you haven't read them yet, but
I have.
so is that, like you think that you might find a copy there, or are you going to order it? Like how, and how
I'm
long
going
ago
to
did it
order
last?
it. It's about 10 years ago.
Oh
I know I
wow.
beat myself up all the time. It took way too long, but I had a lot of healing to do. So I started to read The Angels Come in Colors, but I haven't read it all. I only read a couple pages. But it's funny because I named my daughter Scarlet Eve after my father died, and my other daughter Hazel Lynn, and they're both colors. It's beautiful. It really is. But yeah, I'll read them one day. It'll be a special time for me.
Trisha's asking, what is her ancestry in this life, please? I'm not sure what that means.
My ancestry in this life, like who do I
Maybe
perceive
heritage.
myself to be? Oh, heritage. Maltese. My mother's side of the family is from Malta. Cherokee Indian, Irish, a little bit of Russian, Hungarian, something like that. I mean, that's the
Taffy's
broad.
asking if you believe in the Christ consciousness.
Oh, I do, absolutely. I absolutely 100% do. And that's what has got me this far. I mean, we are all connected continuously every day. I can hear everyone. I wish others would tap into it. It's pretty amazing.
Now, you said that you were in a pretty bad domestic violent relationship.
Yes.
Could you maybe tell us a little bit about that and how you
Sure,
were
no
able to
problem.
break free from it?
Well, I was in about 3 that were pretty severe. The first one, I had met a guy, and he had actually just been out of prison for 5 years. He had an altercation with another person. He was drinking, and there was a gun involved. So they put him away for 5 years. Anyway, he was a good guy. I mean, he wasn't that bad. I didn't think. I have a bad taste in men. Anyway, I actually had a baby with him, and it was just very physical. He was an alcoholic with the beer, continuously drinking. If he would get mad, he would just flip out and hurt me. So when I was pregnant, he punched me in my face and knocked 2 teeth out. I did not expect him to do that. And I have forgiven him. But in that instance, I watched my parents do the same exact thing. And I knew his parents very well too. And they also did the same violence, the same acts of violence toward each other. So by me and him recognizing that and me forgiving him, we broke the cycle. He has my oldest daughter. He's doing great now. He just got married. It's just all about how you, it's the awareness. I wasn't going to stay in that. I didn't want my daughter to see such evil. So I left, and I never come back. I did leave state to get away, but it was hard. It was all hard. I would put him in jail many times for hitting me or hurting me. And I'm not that kind of person. I'm a very nice person, very loving person. So I tried with him. I tried, but it was going nowhere. His abuse with me and him, it just wasn't working. But he doesn't hit his new wife.
That
It's
you
a
know
total
of?
different scenario that I know of. And
Well, because
then,
isn't most women that are in domestic violence, they try not to tell anyone. They try not to
Yes.
let anyone know. They keep that. They're so ashamed that they,
Yes.
that
Yes.
they don't want to tell anyone,
Yes.
because
It
then
looks like a
someone,
weakness.
yeah, and then someone would tell them, well, why don't you leave? Well,
Right.
people that are in that, it's
Mhm.
very hard for them to
It
leave
is.
that situation. So what kind of advice could you give to somebody that is maybe in that type of a situation, that's scared to leave, but they don't know what other options they may have?
Well, you definitely have to love yourself. You have to love yourself, and you have to make a plan, and you have to run. It's very difficult because, if you say something to someone, the person could find out, and then they could really hurt you. It's a very touchy subject. It's very touchy. Awareness is key in loving yourself. If you love yourself, you'll be able to see it. Others are blinded. They believe in false love. They just want love. Then there was another instance. His stepfather, when my dad died, he was a pervert too. He wanted to take pictures of me, and he wanted me to have sex with him for money. And I was at a low point in my life. My daddy had just died. Sure, I'd take $50 for some naked photos. Well, I kept telling him to stop, and he didn't. He was a Wayne County detective. He was in the police force. Well, I had to put him in jail. Had to put him away. I kept telling him, no, this is not right. Can't do this. If my daughter sees this, she's going to be programmed to go and find one of you when she gets older. So I left that one too. I broke that cycle too, but I had to put him in jail. I mean, sometimes you have to have the law involved. It's that severe. It's no joke playing with those, they're demons. They have inadequacies and they project it onto you. It's not fun.
So there's people that, in these situations that end up getting involved with another person and another person. It seems like, until, like you said, break the cycle, patterns tend to repeat, and people end up meeting someone who's similar to that pattern.
That's it.
That this
Say hi.
Hi.
That's Scarlett.
Hi,
She was
Scarlett.
the one born with teeth. It's pretty cool. Okay,
Can we see
go
her
ahead.
teeth?
Go ahead. Actually, they just started growing in. It took 6 years. Let me see your teeth. Oh, hold on. You see these right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't grow in until her big teeth come in. So that was interesting. I actually had to pull them out when she was a baby. I had to put gloves on because she couldn't drink her bottle. So I literally had to pull them out. I saved them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw you said you.
No, I got them in.
From Community.
Yeah. I just told that story. Go sit down for mama. Thank you.
So Angeline was telling me that it's really good to save people's babies' teeth,
Go sit down,
because
baby.
in
Oh,
case
really?
later on, if you ever need stem cells, they can actually take the stem cells out of the teeth, I believe she was telling me. So,
Wow.
it's actually good to, and she's, because she had her brother that
Wow.
was very sick, and, and she had to do stem cell replacement for him. And because she was a match, but if they said if she had the teeth, then
Wow.
that they could actually do it from old teeth. So it's important to save your children's teeth.
Yeah, it has the DNA in it. Yeah, I resonate with Angeline so much. I just love her, literally.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She is.
She's just at the dentist right now, so I seen her pop in. Oh no, she said not the teeth, the umbilical cord. So
Oh, the umbilical cord. Gotcha.
yeah, some people save that. I thought she
sit down,
mentioned
baby.
teeth, but
Go ahead, go
teeth,
sit
yeah,
down.
the umbilical cord.
Right there. Yeah, the umbilical cord has a lot of exactly what you were just talking about. Stem cell research they do with the umbilical cord. Pretty good.
In your bio, it says lightworker, oracle, And is that card reader oracle?
Yes. Well, I mean, Oracle can see the future. Oracle can predict things before they happen. That would be Oracle. Visionary too. They're very similar, neck and neck. But Oracle really gravitated toward me in the beginning. So that's what I am.
And you also say mother of rainbow and indigo children. Could you maybe tell us a little bit
Yes,
about that?
sure. Let me describe that. So a rainbow child, you can identify them if the person had a miscarriage prior to the baby being born. And two of my children that happened with. Got pregnant with my first daughter. At 7 weeks, I went into excruciating pain and I had to go to the hospital, and they said, you had a miscarriage, but you still have to pass it. I said, oh my God. And they said, when you pass it, you have to keep it and bring it back to us. Oh, it was worse than childbirth, that sort of pain. So I passed it, and it was about that big at 7 weeks. And it didn't have any bad stuff in it, bad blood or whatever they were checking for me to have to bring it into them. It was interesting. And then my second daughter, same thing, Scarlett, went in for the ultrasound. I found out I was pregnant, went in for another ultrasound. It just disappeared. And then I got pregnant again, and it was Scarlett. So it was very interesting how it all went. And so I started researching it. And then the indigo is my recent daughter. I have 3 daughters. And that's pretty much, it's just a whole bunch of certain dates of when she was born that would identify with an indigo child. So that's how I figured that one out.
Awesome. And it also says you teach you to heal and consciously create a new version of yourself. Maybe tell us about that.
Well, when people come to me, they're stressed out, they need a reading, they just need me to tell them something that's going on. And, being one with God, I blow their minds when I flip these cards. So it heals them because it tells them what's going on so they can think it, okay, and say, oh, it's really what's going on, so they can heal it. And then they come back the second time around or the third time around, and it's a new reading, and I'm just empowering them, and I'm just making them change their thoughts, something like that. I'm guiding them with light and love. It's very positive cards, angel fairy cards, dragon cards, animal spirit cards. That's pretty much what I deal with.
Angeline says, what is a rainbow child, though? Anything more than them just being born after a miscarriage?
I'm sure a lot more. I just can't think of it all right now. But that's one of the biggest identifiers, is if you had a miscarriage prior to your child being born.
Marco says you probably have the natal chart, right?
Absolutely. I am not as good as my mother, but I can tell you the basics. I'm actually I'm diving deep into that right now, astrology, because I want to do astrological readings next.
Matt is asking, hey, so you pretty much grew up learning astrology? ?
I did.
Drew you towards divination and oracle cards?
My aunt, she was very spiritual, even though she was an addict, and she was saying that she was the Holy Grail. She showed me these oracle cards, and they were dead on. When I pulled them for myself, I couldn't believe that it was telling me exactly what was happening in my life. So it's a very, very vital tool, I would say. I would recommend everyone to have an oracle deck and wake up in the morning and flip a card and tell them what's going to happen in the morning or what they need to know.
Yeah, Angeline's got lots of decks, so I've never been a card type of guy. So just that experience with Angeline is my first time, and it's really neat because the cards just, they're beautiful messages, and I don't see anything negative or.
art heals you. So you see these art on the cards. You're healing yourself every time you look at art or create art. So that's good to know.
In your bio, it says, I bring deep insights and tools to help you understand the omens and signs that surround us all. Could you maybe explain that?
Yeah. So different things mean different, like, for instance, today I pulled the fire ant card, actual fire ant, and it is a spirit animal. I didn't know that. But it's funny though, because I pulled it and it was right before we did our thing on here on the missing link, and it represents community. So on the card, there's just all these little ants. I wish I would have kept it out. It's just really beautiful. Other things like different moon goddesses, I post the definition. I just put knowledge out there on just different things. What else? I don't know why I can't think of anything come to mind. Numerology. I'm really deep into numerology, so I could tell, say on the Mystic Moon, I'll put up a post, if your birthday is this day, this is what's going to happen, or something really positive is going to happen. What else? The omens. I can't think of an omen right now. I don't know why. Oh, the eclipses, stuff like that, different things that happen to the earth. I just put the knowledge out there about it. Awareness is key. If you know stuff like that and it resonates with you, you're opening a whole new life. When you start wondering and when you start going in nature and you just start breathing, I don't know why I can't think of an omen right now.
It's okay. We have Wendy Lady Grace says, I believe she's going to create her own deck. Is that something that
Absolutely.
you're interested in?
Yeah, that's in the works for about 6 months now. But see, I have to pick out the perfect art for each card, for each meaning. So it gets interesting. It's amazing. It's amazing. I have a couple other people that want to collaborate with me on that. It's just great to put something like that out in the world. My dad was a book writer, so that was the first thing that came to me, was making the oracle deck.
I can't hear you now. Your sound cut out. No, your sound's out. No, I can't hear anything. Yeah, you can hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. I can't, no, I can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. I'm not sure what, you have your mute is on right now. No, yeah, you have your mute button on, so maybe,
That was
there you
it.
go.
Somehow the mic button got hit.
Okay.
The mute. Anyway, what was the other question?
Was creating your own deck, I believe.
Yep. Yeah,
I
that's
think that's
one of the top things. Can't wait.
I got my bubble.
And this is Hazel. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Hazel.
That's the youngest. It's on the bed, honey. Go get it. Oh, good. They're not used to me being away. It's okay. Go ahead, hon.
So, have you had any experiences with any entities that aren't human? Aliens,
Yes.
angels, like
Oh.
maybe could you tell us some stories?
Yes. Right before I got pregnant with Scarlet Eve, I had just laid down to go to bed. Oh, my ducks. And a huge fist came at my face. It was all black, and it came at my face while I was laying down in my bed, and I punched it, and it felt like a water balloon. I said, what is this? Nobody could tell me what it is. I have no idea, but obviously it was a dark entity. And the place that I was sleeping, a person had just passed away. So, yeah, that happened. But that was about it. And then that same night, I had went to microwave my steak, and a big shadow on the wall, I mean, this is 7 years ago, knocked the steak out of my hand, fell on the ground. I could see these shadows jumping on the wall, but that was about it. That's about the only experiences I have. Now, holy experiences, I did have one other vision. I was just sitting in my living room. You know, I wasn't on any drugs. I was totally clear-headed. And I looked in the hallway, and there was this big giant source. There was just this big silhouette of what I perceived to be God. And on each side of him, on his left side, there was 4 angels, and on his right side, there was 4 angels. And on his left side, I was the second angel to his left. So I've only had 2 visions that were just mind-blowing, and that was the second one. The first one, it was trying to tell me, you know, listen, our children are under attack. Misty, you need to reprogram the children somehow, some way. And that's what I've been doing.
Matt's got a question here. Have you had any experiences with any Freemasons, Eastern Star, or Rosicrucians?
I dated a Freemason. He didn't tell me too much. I get it. I get the obtained knowledge that they know. I am not a Freemason. I find it interesting, but no, I have not obtained knowledge in that category of the Freemason. I'm sure I'd probably like it. I'm not sure though.
Taffy's asking, do you believe in speaking in tongues through the Holy Spirit?
My aunt does. I have not. I believe in light language. I've been diving deep into that. Light language transmissions. But that's it.
So what is light language then?
Light language is you just feel, you know, God. You feel the presence and the consciousness of God, and you just start speaking like, you know, these different things that come to you. I guess I haven't had the confidence enough yet to try it, but I do like it. But it's just different energy by your mouth and by making noise, something like that.
I think it'd probably be easier to get comfortable doing it by yourself, and you know,
Yes.
and then you know, instead of doing it live here on the missing
Absolutely.
link.
Absolutely. But I have been diving into that though.
Marco says Theosophical Society ? I'm not sure if was he answering you or maybe someone else's comment. I'm not sure.
Comment. You know, it really is all about imagination though. I wish people could understand that. Mega nation. You know, if you use your imagination, you can see further. You may not believe yourself. That could be the problem, but it's all about imagination and creativity. You know, I wake up to create every day. It has put meaning to my life. It has made my life so joyful. If you can create, it will heal you.
Matt's asking, have you ever read any books from Helena Blavatsky or Alice Bailey?
Okay, well, I've definitely heard of Helena, but I haven't read any books. No, I haven't read none of her books. I'd like to, though.
Angeline says light language and speaking in tongues are basically the same thing, just different name.
Gotcha. Yeah, the light language. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
The light language is kind of, some people sing it, like they sing. Like Angeline would probably be really good at it, but I have not found my my niche yet for it. But I'm very intrigued with it.
Tanya's asking if you believe that we connect with soul family from past lives.
Absolutely. Like ancestors, you know, with my whole family being on the other side, you know, they're all around me right now. I could feel that. It took a long time to believe it, but it's very real. It's all very real. And if you quiet your mind and center yourself, you can hear all of that.
Do they ever try to communicate with you?
It's just like kind of like God, how God communicates, like Christ consciousness. You know, I just hear certain ways how they used to talk to me. Like my dad would say, "It's okay, baby," and so I'll hear that, and so I know it's my dad, or just any of them. You could just hear it. You start to hear it. You start to feel it. Something like that.
Have you ever got any messages where you need to like tell someone something and you just feel the need that it's coming
Yeah,
from the other side where
absolutely.
you need to like somehow, or to a stranger? Have you
Hmm.
ever had it for a stranger that's ever
Yeah,
happened to you?
yeah. I'm too friendly, and God will just speak through me. And so I'm always talking to people I see on the side of the road or on the street. Oh, what a beautiful shirt. You know, literally, God just speaks through me. I mean, I'm that kind of person as well. You know, very compassionate person. But yeah, I can just, his spirit just talks through me, and it's beautiful. It really is. I did have an instance where an angel come to me while my father was dying. I didn't know. I had fallen asleep, and it was in his last days, and I heard a knock on the door. It was like this, and that was the same knock that my family used to use before they died. And so I woke up, and my dad was having seizures in the bathroom, and he was dying. And so if I wouldn't have woke up, I would have found him dead myself. So
Wow.
yeah,
Jessica says we are the 144,000. What does that mean to you?
144,000 will be like angels, X-Men, save the children of the new world. I love
Do you
it.
think do you think that
I,
many people are scattered throughout the earth?
there is. There could possibly be more than 144,000. You know, I've heard that lately. It's very rare. It's very rare.
What do you think heaven is?
Oh, see, it's one thing. I have never read the Bible. Every time I went to read the Bible, I was living it. So I never got to read it, but I have been diving deep also in reading the Bible on the audio version. Heaven is just a beautiful place. I mean, the label describes it, you know, just a beautiful, beautiful place where all the energies are one. I'm sure that's where everyone goes.
What about the opposite side? What do you think
I
hell
mean,
is? And
you can bring heaven here. I mean, I have obtained heaven vibration within myself just going into nature. Hell, I mean, hell, I believe it to be described just like it is. Maybe there isn't a hell. You know, this was a lot of programming. I'm sure that the Bible has been altered many times. You know? This is my nice
yes.
little forest. This is where I meditate back in here. I didn't want to do the live back here because I didn't want to get bit up by mosquitoes, but it's just so beautiful and peaceful. That's what people need
Is
to do. They need to go outside.
is there lots of mosquitoes this spring?
No. Just this morning because it rained yesterday, and I was praying here, and the biggest ancient mosquito landed on my hand and bit me. It was the first time I was bit this year, so I remembered God all day from that bite. Something like that.
I find that last year was really bad for mosquitoes, and then this year
Was
not so
so
much. And
bad.
then it seems like it goes back and forth. One year it's really bad, and then the next year it's not so bad. So
Absolutely. I don't know what that is because I heard that they are attracted to small things of water. So I would go in my area and just dump out any cups of water or anything like that. And that wasn't the case. It was just bad. Almost like something had put them here.
Matt was asking if you used Ouija boards at all.
Never, never. I do not like them. I do not associate with them. I will not go near one. And that's just my own preference.
So at the beginning of 2020, when all the crazy stuff happened, what was your life like? What were you doing? What did you think when the people started dropping in the streets?
I had just had a baby. So I was here and we didn't go out. You know, I had a baby, so I was so scared to go to the grocery stores or go anywhere and her come in contact with COVID. So I stayed home. I become a hermit. But that's what it was like. You know, it was funny. I watched your live the other day and you were talking about 9/11. I remembered on 9/11, I was in life management class. I mean, I remember everything since I was 1 year old. I have a very good memory. But it was very intriguing that I was in life management class. I was in 9th grade. Something else to think about.
So did you believe this, the pandemic? Did you believe what's going on? Did you,
It's all set up. It's all control.
Wear the breathing inhibitors and,
Oh,
get the
yeah.
injections, and did you have to do all that kind of stuff?
No. But see, my daughter, she lives with her father, my oldest 15-year-old, Samantha Dawn, and she has diabetes type 2. And so they went and got the shot and did not tell me. And that was a lot for me to understand. But I see where he was coming from. He just wanted our daughter to be safe. And they said that diabetics were more sensitive to the COVID and it could hurt them really bad. So he got her vaccinated. She got COVID like a month later after the vaccine. So that's a lot to have to think about, especially, we have our soul family members that had put so much knowledge out there on what that vaccine was. And so I had to really control my thoughts and I had to send my daughter healing. And it's a lot.
How is she doing besides catching the
Yeah, she's okay. She's okay. She has the pump now. So it does it all for her. It's just the hardest thing ever. We've had to change her diet. We've had to change everything, count carbs, but now she has the pump. So it is a lot easier for her.
Do you think that since getting the shot, has it affected her? And do you think that it's affected her health in any way?
And to be honest with you, yeah, a little bit. She's gained more weight. She's got a little bit more of an edge to her. But, anybody can heal themselves. And I have sat there with her and I've talked about it with her. She also listens to frequencies to help her diabetes. You just got to keep focused on the children and keep giving them stuff that they can help themselves with. And so thank God that I knew this knowledge so that I could pass it down to my 15-year-old daughter that has a hole in her pancreas. And they said that she only has 20 years life expectancy, which I do not believe. And do you know, I was giving birth to Scarlet Eve alone in a hospital room. She was being born with teeth as Samantha Dawn was in the ER and going into a coma. We didn't know she had diabetes type 2. So I had one kid I'm giving birth to and one kid almost dying in the ER in the same hospital.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was very, very traumatic. I couldn't be down there. It was just so hard. So I had to leave the baby in the nursery, Scarlet, and I had to fly to Children's Hospital, drive to Children's Hospital, and there she was. And I wasn't there. I had to give birth to a baby. It was really rotten because I'm a very responsible mother. So for that to happen, it was very traumatizing, very traumatizing. But they walked me through it. They showed me how to give injections. They showed me how to count the carbs. They were pretty sympathetic with me at the hospital.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. So you've been obviously dealing with this for this last few years with the hospitals. How are they? Or do you have to put the breathing inhibitors on to go in the hospitals? Are they very strict in your state? Are you a Democratic state?
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina. They were getting pretty strict. You weren't allowed. Some of the fathers weren't allowed to come in and see the baby born. It was getting that bad. Obviously, they lifted a lot of it. I think on the 31st of June, they're taking it all off. Like there will be no more conditions from COVID. There will be no more blockages concerning COVID. Like it's lifting in our state, something like that. I heard a couple days ago. It's interesting.
Angeline said usually if kids get diabetes, it's type 1, her roommate
Right.
said.
Yeah, this is type 2.
I just actually listened to something on diabetes. I sent it to Angeline earlier
Wow,
today. And it was saying that people can heal themselves from diabetes. You would
really?
do a 3-day fast. Dry fast would be better, but he said if you can't, you can do a 3-day water fast, and then afterwards you just go on a fruit diet. So just fruits, and it's like vegetables, no,
Yeah, yeah,
because there's in the
yeah.
vegetables. They said
It's a
there's like
sugar. Hmm, hmm.
well starch or something like
Yeah,
that in the
yeah.
vegetables, but they said
Okay.
that if someone was serious to get rid of their diabetes, they could
Wow.
fast for 3 days and then go on a fruit diet,
Well, I
and
believe everything is possible, and that's why I started helping my daughter to heal with the frequencies. I know she could heal this. I'm in the midst of buying my own house and having my daughter come move in with me, and that's where the healing is going to really start. But yeah, it's been severe, severe trauma. Um, that's all I eat. I went because my cards, they guide you to be vegetarian. They guide you to change your diet, the fairy cards. And I did. And I only eat vegetables and fruit now. And my life is completely changed. And I walk now and I run. I used to be a sports player. So I don't know why I ever stopped being a sports player and stopped stretching and stopped doing all that. I guess because of depression, everyone dying, but I picked it all back up again. And it is so beneficial just eating what the world grows, Everything out here, I teach the health as well. I have that group. Everything represents an organ if you look at it. Like the walnut is like the brain and it helps the brain. If you look at things in your backyard, it's literally, it will heal you, these different plants. And if you look at them, the awareness, and they look like an organ, most of them, is very, very beneficial, very vital to eat all organic or to eat all vegetables, fruit, everything from the earth. That changed my life. The food is programmed as well.
100%. Well, I stopped eating meat 6.5 years ago, and I used to
Wow.
get sick once or twice a year, and I haven't really been sick in 6.5 years
Amen.
since I
Not
stopped
at all.
since I
Me too.
stopped eating the meat. So
Mhm.
it's done good for me. I was interviewing someone that said she's like, oh yeah, these vegans, they just all look like they're all shrunken in, and they're but people have different
Yeah, yeah.
bodies, different people
It's
can
all
do
different. Everyone.
different things and different structures, but I really don't look like my face is shrunken in. I got my little puffy cheeks, so
I
I've
get what
been
you're saying because I've dropped a lot of weight from becoming vegetarian. But there's different ways around it. You can start taking protein, and that will start building you up more. If you think that you're too skinny, but man, you want to feel light. You don't want to feel heavy and eat meat. And when you eat meat, it feels like you're getting the flu. Like that's how it feels in your body. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that. Like I said, awareness is key. But yeah, I read it and then I started feeling that after I would eat a hamburger or something. It was just like a feeling of a sickness. I didn't want to feel like that no more. I don't eat any McDonald's, anything like that either. It's all programmed, all controlled. It's horrible.
yeah, I hear that the meat is hard for the body to digest. So if you're constantly eating a lot of meat, then your body's constantly trying to digest this meat that's inside
Mhm.
of you. So you're constantly in this these digestive issues. But everybody's different. What's for one person
Everyone's
doesn't mean it's for all. We're all here with the freedom to make our own choices,
That's
to
it.
know what's best for us. You're your own best doctor. And you know what you feel is good for you, just believe it's good for you, even if
Yep.
it's chocolate cake. Because if you're eating that chocolate cake and you're like, feeling guilty and
Self-love.
maybe I shouldn't do it and maybe I shouldn't be having that, then that's probably the worst chocolate cake ever,
Yes,
because
the
you're
worst
putting
chocolate.
because you're putting those intentions into
It's the
it. But
thought. Right. That's just as important too. Your thoughts is just as important as eating good food and good fruit. If you think bad, I mean, you could be a vegan, a vegetarian, and if you have bad thoughts, you're still not going to be in higher consciousness because you have these negative thoughts. So, positive thoughts are just as good as good food and drink.
Michelle said it's be careful where you buy your meat because they're putting RMNA into it. So that's another
Yeah,
thing
it's
to
everything is
have to be
totally
careful.
changed, even worse. Yeah, it's so bad. It's really getting bad. It's really been bad. It's really bad. Everything tastes different. It's so bad. My children actually have changed to vegetarian as well with me. They will not eat meat. Don't get me wrong. I have gratitude if I want to have a hamburger, but boy, I had one on Sunday and it just, oof, no, I don't want it never again. I just can't do it. It's horrible.
Someone said here you're absolutely incorrect about meat info. Well, I'm not incorrect about me. 6.5 years, I haven't had a cold or flu since. So,
No,
like I
no.
said, if you believe that meat's good for you and you need your meat, then
Yeah,
that's what
go
you
ahead.
need, and put yourself that in your body. But if other people believe that it's not good for them and they don't need it, you can't tell them that they're
No,
wrong, because that's the whole problem with the world. You're incorrect
that's
on
it.
making your
That's it.
decisions, and that's what divides us, and that's what continues on with this division agenda.
That's it.
What's good for one person doesn't mean it's good for all. What's bad for
Right.
one person doesn't mean it's bad for all. You have to find out what's good for you, and don't be so arrogant to think that just because it's
That's
good
it.
for you that everybody else needs to eat like you and be like you. So that's really
Other people
important.
are more aware. I mean, sometimes people aren't aware, so they get mad and they judge. But if you're judging something, that means you can recognize it. That means you did it in a past life or you did it before. If you can recognize, you can judge someone. People need to remember that and understand that.
So what's your thoughts on, all the spraying in the air? Do you believe that that's true? Do you believe that that's just
Ah,
contrails, just
I'm better.
stuff that just happens from
No, it's
planes?
true. No, it's very, very true. It's very true. And I'm here in North Carolina and I can identify it. I mean, airplanes don't make those kind of chemtrails. And right after I see the chemtrail, I could feel it in my sinuses. I mean, I'm psychic, for God's sakes, you know? People can say whatever they want. I hang crystals around, you know, crystals really do help. They help with everything. They purify
What
water.
Yeah, how do you select your crystals? How do you know what crystals do? Do you mix your crystals around to do different things?
I do. I study crystals. I have many people send me free crystals, which is just amazing. And I put a new crystal on every day, and it gives me a new vibration. And it helps me with whatever I need help with. And I study that crystal. And like this one is for compassion. This is Amazonite. Amazonite. I don't know why. I always have trouble saying that word. It just helps with if you're in a relationship and it's kind of struggling, it will help you. It helps with opportunities. You know, I've been polling all week for the world, and today I pulled a very big success and abundance and many opportunities coming to many people's way, many way. Also, Jupiter's coming into play tomorrow. Just a very fortunate time for everyone. You know, we got a Sagittarius full moon, 2 days, 3 days. It's just really great vibrations anymore.
Taffy's asking, what crystals do you use to clear your water, or can you?
The Vogel. It's called a Vogel 144 Vogel crystal. I found it out in the beginning, 2017. I was really having an awakening. You can have many awakenings, but in 2017, I had a real big one. And I just kept seeing this Vogel crystal. I don't have it out here. It's about that high, and it's clear. And I just pointed at my water, and I set the intention. I cleanse the water. But now they make these water bottles that have crystals at the bottom. I had to get one of those soon. And that also purifies your water. It's
Yeah,
all imagination.
I've seen that with the crystals in the bottom of the water bottle.
Mhm.
Tyler he asked Misty if she's willing to receive gifts.
Oh, yes, always. I'm very abundant. Thank you, Tyler.
So what else is there? So, how has this last 3 years been then on you? Like, has this been a good
Well,
thing? Has this been,
it's been
eye-opening, enlightening? Has it been
very
really hard, a
eye-opening, very
struggle?
enlightening. I had to deal with another toxic relationship, another cycle breaker. And this one involved psychological abuse, narcissism, control. So that one really provided me some knowledge to help others with. But you can never judge, I don't know why they really do go after the narcissists and the labels very hard. I don't think that that's right. Everyone's different. But you have to leave. You have to walk away from anything that does not serve you. If something doesn't celebrate you, or if someone, you have to go. You have to leave. And so I did. And I just focus on my life and my children and my work. And it has really helped me. What's wrong?
Is that orange juice?
No, it's my brandy water. You want it? Can't
So
handle
what,
it, Rama? Go sit down.
so what do you think our purpose is here?
To change the programming, to change the Bible, to change all of the programming for the children. The children need love. They're older souls being incarnated, obviously. And they need love, and they need compassion. They don't need this hatred and this division. They don't need that. Go ahead, honey. Go sit down for mama. Right there. Okay, go ahead over there. Sit right there in the stroller. Sit down. Sit. Thank you. Go ahead. Right there. And listen. I need to listen. The birds are very therapeutic too. Yeah, go get it. My first word was bird. So, it's just the little things about yourself. If you can identify it, it will help you. You can remember. We're here to remember. Like, I remember you, Jesse. Like, when I looked at you for the first time, we started around the same time. You had made the missing link. I had made the question. And it was your eyes, and the eyes are the windows to the soul. And I knew immediately, I had seen you a million times. So I knew that you had been in my past lives. And then you got with Angeline, and I said, oh my God, I've seen her a million times too. It's just really beautiful.
Yeah, Angeline and I have been together, we believe, before this life, and probably many lifetimes before.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I concur.
Here we had Taffy said, what can you do, say someone that had trauma? How do you relieve that? Like, what do you do?
Well, before you go to bed at night, you put earbuds in and you put on alpha waves, and you put strongest frequency alpha waves, and you fall asleep with that. And then you wake up in the morning and you can feel a difference. And you'll feel such a difference that you'll want to do it again. Also, stay in nature, go outside, stay outside. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to any of the programming. I just listen to frequencies and I work on my creations and I create, and I have the best life ever. It has removed all the trauma, the birds and the air and the trees. I mean, I can't say the air, the air is polluted, but it's the outside, it's the growth, everything's growing outside, and animals. If you help an animal, you get rewarded back. I have 3 ducks. So, by giving them water every day and just helping them, you receive back.
And same thing, I think, with the air. You said the air is not, it's polluted, but it's again intentions. If you believe the air is polluted,
That's it.
then the air is polluted, right? If you believe that, sure, they're spraying, but I'm still breathing clean, wonderful air. Thank you for this beautiful oxygen. Then I think that it impacts you in a better way. That if you're thinking, oh, I'm being poisoned and they're poisoning me and that's poison out there, I don't want to go outside because it's poison. I believe that intention will manifest into something that is not good for your body.
This is what happened to me. I had a dream when I got with my twin flame. I'm a master at twin flame. I study twin flame. It's not the easiest, but I love twin flame. I got with my twin flame and I had a dream that me and my twin flame were in Walmart together. And when we were walking through Walmart, I kicked over a case of water. And there was pinholes in every cap and the water was coming out. After I had that dream, I knew that the water was poisoned, the bottle of water. So now every time
you've frozen. You're frozen. I can't hear you right now, Misty. Your connection is not good.
Drink water.
Can't hear anything that you're saying. Can't hear you. You're frozen right now, Misty. I'm not sure if you hear me, but you're frozen right now. Okay, so I just put her out of the studio, so maybe she'll come back in and reload. And if you all have any questions for Misty, before we wrap this up, would be, great to come. If, you guys, this is the first interview that she said that she's ever done. So I imagine there's a lot of people here that's, connected with her that maybe have some actual questions for you or for her, or you've maybe asked her those questions already. Energies are high. She's just moving so fast that it looks like she's still. Oh, we are missing it. Can't hear. Yeah, I couldn't hear that. It's been great, Jesse. Take a break. I'm good. I ate some food. Okay, there you're back. So what we didn't hear the whole last part that you said. You're having connection issues as well. You're frozen again. So I'm not sure what we can do here, but
okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I had this dream that I was in Walmart with the father of my children, my recent father of my children, and I kicked over a case of water and there was water coming out of pin-sized holes in the caps of the water bottles. So I knew then that the water was poisoned. So the only way that I could purify the water was to ask God to purify it for me every time I drink it. So every time I take a drink, I thank God and I ask him to purify the water. And it has worked. I can see a difference. It's all believing. You have to believe. There's water filters and stuff you can buy as well. But every dream that I've ever had has come true. When I was 15, I had a dream that I was in a Kmart parking lot and this van was going to back into a man in a wheelchair. So I ran and pushed the man out of the way and I got hit and I seen myself in a casket and I bled to death from no teeth. And then I had that bad dentist do that to me. So all the puzzle pieces went together. My dreams always come true.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah.
Saraya, she's asking, is there anything to do to help lessen the ringing in the ears?
No, that's a download. That's beautiful. If you're getting ringing like that, that's straight from God. I just got one today right before the show. It was so intense. So it will fade. Sometimes you don't have it at all. You know, be grateful that you're having it that much.
Tyler's asking if you've ever tried the mushroom coffee. It's probably called mud water, and what is your opinion on it if you have?
Is it real mushroom coffee?
Yeah, so
I
it's
have
called
tried
mud
mushroom.
water. So it's called
Yeah,
mud
I keep
water, and
hearing
that's
about.
the biggest thing. It's made from a bunch of different mushrooms. It supposedly
Wow.
tastes pretty good. It's like
Huh.
coffee, but without the coffee beans. They use these
Yeah.
natural
Oh, yeah.
mushrooms.
I've heard of
So
this.
yeah,
I've been looking into this. No, I've never tried it. So it has real mushroom, like psychedelic mushroom?
no, not the psychedelic, but just mushrooms. Like it's got
Gotcha.
like lion's mane and other different mushrooms, but
Wow.
it's not like microdosing, but it's
Hmm.
actually like a coffee replacement, and it's called mud water. So
I'm gonna write that down. I'm
I don't
really interested in that mud water.
yeah, I don't drink coffee at all. I think it tastes like dirt.
Yeah,
And so
yeah, it does.
never
I don't drink coffee either, so, but I have caffeine. I
so
take
yeah, I
caffeine
never drank that,
shots.
but drinking something that's mushroom based that's got all like organic ingredients
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good for you is that's not a
Oh,
bad thing,
that's
I
my
think, at
favorite.
all.
That would be my favorite. I don't know why I haven't seen it yet. I think I have. I just didn't realize.
Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna check that.
now that we've mentioned mud water on your phone, you're going to be popping up. Facebook is going to pop up. You'll probably notice in the next 2 hours you'll see 3 mud water ads that are gonna pop up.
You know it. Yeah, they're listening, the big brother. I had
Um,
literally went through the whole process. I could not go to the bathroom with my phone in my hand because I could literally feel that there was someone watching, something like that. So by me going through the process of not being able to do that, I knew confirmation that there was definitely somebody watching through my phone. It's a wild world.
Oracle Light says she's amazing. How are
Oh,
we
thank
to
you so
find her
much.
pages or platforms? How are people to find you?
Um,
The Oracle is commenting from YouTube, so I believe you're a Facebook person. Are you in any other platforms?
no, I'm on YouTube as well. YouTube, it would be Revolutionary Readings 888, and that's my new YouTube channel. I'm also on TikTok, and that would be Mystic Readings 144. And then my page on Facebook is Mystic Readings. And then my main profile is Misty Ivey. Yeah, I really appreciate you asking me to come on here. It's been a dream ever since I told you that I wanted to come on. It was just such a divine timing. And I resonate with Mother Mary. And every time I post, it's always the number 13 or 31, and that's Mother Mary's number. And of course, you'd pick today, the 31st. So all the numbers were very perfect. 7 o'clock, it's just very good numbers. Very good, very holy numbers that you picked for me
Do
to
you
join you
did you say Mystic Readings 144 on TikTok?
on TikTok.
So it's Mystic Readings 144?
Yep.
Okay. I'll just put that into the comments because yeah, you didn't give me any links or
Thank
anything
you.
like that before. So
So sorry.
yeah, this way people can find you. Your question, do you see any storms coming? Misty, do you see any storms coming?
I do. Hurricane season is going to be really lit this year. And I don't know why, but I've thought of it over 4 times in the last 24 hours. So I know that it's going to be, we didn't have no snow at all in North Carolina this year. Not one snow. And that is the first time in my whole life. We're going to see. Yeah, something is coming. Something's always coming,
Soraya mentioned about the ears ringing, and you said that was like a good thing, but she says the
Yeah, that was a
ringing,
download.
but she says it's constantly ringing that it makes her want to throw up, though.
Oh, wow. Maybe there's something else going on. You might want to get that checked out. That could be something else. Never ignore signs like that from your body. Yeah, I get one maybe every 2 weeks. It's just a ringing in the air, and it's knowledge and downloads from heaven. But if you're getting it like that, I don't know. I mean, but everyone's different. Maybe you have a different superpower. I'm going to send you healing for sure. Sorry you're going through that.
I guess Tyler is drinking it now, and he says 10 out of 10 for the mud water.
Wow. God, that's the best thing I heard all week. I can't wait to try it. Wow. That's special.
EMFs cause ringing too. So, Soraya, are you by any towers? Do you work by any towers? Do you live by any towers? Do you take walks around towers? Have you noticed anything? A smart meter? I know that people have been affected by smart meters put onto their houses. I've heard of the children being affected, sick all the time because of smart meters. They move the kid away from that in a different room away from the smart meter, then the kid starts to get better. So there's lots of different reasons why, you may have this, this ringing.
Yeah, I won't even allow my daughter's tablet to be anywhere near her or her room when she goes to bed. I mean, if you feel something and you think something, well, you're thinking that for a reason. You should look into it.
Wendy says that's okay. Mud water tastes like dirt to me too.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I'm not a fan of mushrooms, so it would be interesting. But I'm always up to try new herbal. I'm always up to try new herbal things.
Yeah, Angeline's got a mushroom coffee, but she also's got a mushroom hot chocolate. So she makes this hot chocolate with these natural ingredients, and it's like a mushroom chocolate, and it's really good. She makes really good hot
Now
chocolate.
that sounds better with the hot chocolate. I'm a fan of hot chocolate too. So are my children. Hot chocolate love too.
Yeah, I like hot chocolate. I just gotta try to do a little better with the sugar for me.
Yeah, oh, I know. They say the white sugar causes cancer. I mean, I don't eat it, but when I have a cup of coffee, I definitely pour it in. But I don't drink that much coffee like that.
Diane says, regarding ascension, how does that happen?
Ascension? Well, different energies, just like the planetary alignments, they will cause different energies and they have to go through. They got to go somewhere. They go through you. It's just a process. You'll be all the better for it after it's done. I mean, I used to have such bad ascension symptoms. I felt like I had vertigo. But, I was knowledgeable. I had read up on it. I see what was going on here. So I identified it as ascension and it wasn't vertigo. So it made me feel better. It is the thought. You just have to change your thoughts during that time of ascension. Just beautiful thoughts because it can be a rough ride. But yes, it has a lot to do with the planetary alignments, different shifts in frequency.
Here, lots of people are saying that they have tinnitus. Jen saying, I have tinnitus 24/7 since I was born. constant ear ringing for her entire life. Well, I think, did you freeze again there, Misty? Super sensitive. Thanks. I get frequency through natural sound. Work next to a tower. So, Soraya, think about getting some shungite, some what do you call this? Some orgone, some different things. Get some EMF protectors. That may help. You know, should be willing to try different things. You know, but try to get some, you know, some help with, because I know they have different stuff, but not everybody is not everybody can, you know, if shungite works for one person, might not work for everybody. There might be different things. And if you get like these little cell phone stickers that help with the, you know, it's some people it'll work on, some people it don't. I don't really feel the difference, but I still have it on and put it on, but I don't feel that. So if you have dreams of flying, I think you're ready to shift. Have you printed aluminum foil on all your walls to protect you from EMFM like that? She came back, but it hasn't loaded. So, yeah, I was at 0.4. Came and didn't have light for 8 weeks. Wow, no lights for 8 weeks. Thanks, Matt. Kidneys linked to ears ringing. I've really enjoyed the show. Awesome. Glad to hear, Tyler. What are smart meters, please? Smart meters are what they've installed onto the houses where they don't have to come into your yard in order to check how much, you know, power that you've been using. So they're called smart meters. They can digitally check that, but they emit certain frequencies. But also the smart meters, they checks how much, you know, electricity your fridge is using, checks how much, you know, electricity your washer and dryer is using. They're called smart meters because they're collecting data, information on your house, how much lights, what time you use them, how much power is being used, and then it's sent that information back to these companies, and then they sell that data to people because data is very valuable on, you know, people's patterns, purchasing patterns, how they use, when they use, what they use, and all that kind of stuff. So they've put these smart meters on people's homes, which, you know, people that are very sensitive have been affected negatively by these smart meters.
Yeah, they know every time you flush the toilet. They know how many times you flush the toilet, everything.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, how they could figure out how they could figure, because it's not digital. We're talking about these smart meters. They pick up on everything digital when it comes to power, when it comes to thing. I'm sure that it doesn't have a sensor on your toilet or water.
Something that they know exactly how many times you flush your toilet. I don't know how they could know that, but something else.
Do you on like a little property there? Do you grow food? Do you have like wild herbs?
But I'm glad you asked that question because I resonated so much with you and Angeline collecting water, the spring water. Like every time you guys do that, I just light up because I love water irrigation. I recently went to Montana and one of our soul family members, they had a fast moving stream behind their house with the mountains. And we were talking about building water irrigation and a pump. And I really want to do that. So I'm going to be working toward that and making a bumper crop of produce soon. But I don't have one yet.
Selenite, I guess, helps with the EMF frequency. So Matt was saying good to be telling Soraya, if she's having problems, she works right by a tower, and you know, all day long she's by this tower, and she may be sensitive to it. So be important to maybe get some EMF protection for herself.
For sure. Just like your necklace. I have the same necklace. You know, you have that black EMF, it's like a black circle. necklace you have. I had bought one when I was first awakening, and that is supposed to block out any EMT, any of that interference.
So there's a website called findaspring.com where you can find a spring water that's closest to you.
Wow.
You just have to type in findaspring.com, you put in your postal code, and then it shows you where the spring waters where you can go collect it are near. Not everyone is a actual factual water drinking one, so you may have to drive an hour to find out it's not working. There's
Wow,
one that
that's
says
cool.
spring water inside of Calgary that there's nothing there
Yeah.
but this little thing, and so but it wasn't too far. But the ones that we've driven to have actually we've found spring water in them, but we're in Canada where we got really good water here.
Yeah, I believe it. It's not good water here. I'm from Michigan, and with the whole Flint and the water being poisoned in Flint, scary thing. That was a real thing that really happened.
Diane is asking anything recommended for people that have migraines.
The headache frequency. It helps me so much because I have migraines once in a while. I didn't know what to do. So you go to YouTube and you look up headache frequency and you play it, and it takes it away immediately. I recommend it to anyone. There's a couple different ones, but they all work.
Do you think that some frequencies could help someone like Jen? Again, she's saying she's had lifelong tinnitus. Would there be maybe some frequencies that could help her with that? Oh, I think Misty's frozen again.
Yeah.
Linda got sick from that little Calgary spring. Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, I was there with a friend, and we're like looking, how are we going to get the water from the actual spring from there? And it didn't actually look very, very good. Yeah, you're frozen again there, Misty. We can't really hear you, and it's dark, and frequencies will help the mindset. It sure will, Mike. There, you're kind of back now.
Okay. They said pro tip, if you go closer to the router, it would work.
Yeah, that usually does help. Is there anything that maybe we haven't talked about that you wanted to talk about here with us today?
I mean, I'm sure there is, but you have definitely covered a lot, and I appreciate it. Because, by bringing me on here, you're healing me as well. Much gratitude. Because I finally expressed myself. I was actually looking for someone to interview me, and then you messaged. I was going to ask Wendy, but she didn't want to do it, so.
Right on. You were saying this is the first time you've ever done an interview?
Oh, no, I love interviews, but this is the first time since it all happened that I could get up and express myself on what happened.
Yeah, lots of healing to do, I imagine, first.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot for a while, so I'm doing really good now. But it felt really good to release it all and actually tell someone.
Right on. Well, you got a lot of people here that, in the comments here that sure, do appreciate you and how you've been able to help them. So
I appreciate them. I love them dearly. They are my family.
Okay, well, I guess if that's, it, we can't you're pretty dark now. So
yeah, it got dark and I don't want to move because it might go out. I did want to show you guys the moon though.
Well, great. Any final thoughts, any positive messages, words of inspiration, anything that you wanted to leave the audience here with today?
Just wake up to create, and definitely love yourself first. Just keep loving yourself and just keep letting go of whatever you've ever been programmed to think is right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. And that's it. Love and light. Thank you, Jesse.
You're very welcome. Well, thank you very much for being a part of the Missing Link. Thanks everybody for all your likes, comments, hearts, shares, and stars. We appreciate all of your support and all of your love. And thank you so much. May the source be
Thank you
with
so
you
much.
all. We do have tomorrow, we have Grant Burrows. He's a minister. He was on the Missing Link when it first started, maybe show 70, I believe he was. And this is show 479. So 409 shows ago, he was probably on. He's been on a couple of our panels. Smart guy, interesting guy. He's been battling the court systems about what's legal and lawful and trying to get his property, not paying taxes or something. I'm sure something that he's doing. So, that's tomorrow on the Missing Link. That's another evening one. That's again, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We start tomorrow. So I'll have a free day to do what I need to do during the day. And, Tyler says 479 is now a special number to Tyler because that's the 479th interview, and 8's my favorite number. And
it's one of mine too.
And I was interviewed by someone who tried to give the 8 away. Like it was I ended up being number 88 on the interview. And she was a lady, Gemma Starr from Australia. And she's like, I tried to give that away a couple times, but it just happened to work out. And I'm like, well, that's kind of perfect. It worked out.
I love it.
That was my number for the interview. So I was pretty happy to hear that.
It's little things like that. My life path number is 4. So every single number today meant a reason, it had a significant meaning to me. So I just find that beautiful.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks again, everybody. We will see you next time we see you back on the Missing Link. Bye, Misty. Thanks for coming on. And we'll see you all tomorrow or next time we see you back on the Missing Link. I'm your host, Jesse Howe. Please put into your comments what you thought of the interview, and we'll see you next time we see you back on the Missing